COVID-19 pandemic has brought unprecedented changes to our usual ways of living. But the Department of Education remains unfazed by these challenges to fulfill the mission of Sulong Edukalidad, the rallying call for national effort to deliver quality basic education to all Filipinos, which involve aggressive reforms in the 4 key areas: the K-12 curriculum review and update, improving the learning environment, teachers upskilling and reskilling, and engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration to move forward together as we prepare the education system for the future. The call for Sulong Edukalidad will continue, and we have built the framework of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or the BELCP, to put the needs of the learners at top priority. DEPED's BELCP is the major response and commitment to protect the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. The plan aims to provide opportunities to continue education even in these trying times with a BELCP in place, supported by an unprecedented number of diverse stakeholders from the academe, media, industry groups, NGOs, business and private individuals. Sulong Edukalidad will be able to sustain the aims in its reform for quality basic education. In our journey towards quality education, we have established the 4 pillars of aggressive reforms from the start, and we have been continuing to progress in these pillars. In improving the learning environment, we took action in the construction and rehabilitation of school buildings, ensured the availability of learning materials and equipment, and prioritized our last mile schools. The challenges of the pandemic also brought to light the urgent need to upgrade our ICT infrastructure to service the needs of education. In terms of the teachers upskilling and reskilling, we were able to establish more innovative professional standards for teachers and school heads. We have aligned the professional development of teachers with their career progression to track their development as part of the National Educators Academy of the Philippines transformation. With the launch of the Education Futures program, where we will be focusing on innovative actions and solutions to improve the state of our education, we are now more than ready to start a new journey and continue our fight for quality education for all Filipino learners. Finally, we've given high importance to the engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. In support of this, we have convened the Philippine Forum for Accessible Quality Basic Education, or the Education Forum, which will leverage other partnerships for education quality and strengthen partnership with the Philippine Normal University as the country's National Center for Teacher Education. The department has also been developing a professional development program for teachers and school leaders in order to equip them with the skills, materials, and data that will allow them to help their students prepare for PISA 2022. This intervention consists of the following components: online training for teachers and school leaders, development of learning materials and practice tests for students, deepening the analysis of the PISA 2018 results, and supporting school-level action research. Now that the year is about to end, our commitment to Sulong Edukalidad will continue and will be far from being gone. With a lot at stake, considering our new knowledge and experience from this year's challenges, we are equipped to face a new future. As we head on to the future where we will face many challenges and uncertainties, the department will always be the guardian of every Filipino learner's right to education.
The Department of Education, through the Bureau of Human Resource and Organizational Development, Human Resource Development Division, welcomes all the teachers from all over the Philippines in this national orientation on the results-based performance management system, aligned with the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers in the new normal. Via Facebook Live, here at DEPED Philippines and other DEPED official accounts. Let's welcome your host, Ms. Bianca Paula Manas and Mr. Carlos B. Llamas III.
Ayan. Hello, good morning,
Ayun!
DepEd.
Good
Hi, Sir Kaloy.
afternoon! Hello po, Miss Bianca. Good afternoon po sa lahat ng mga kasama natin sa buong Pilipinas. Mga kaguruan po, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Maayong hapon sa tanan.
Maayong hapon sa ating mga guro. Good morning, magandang hapon. Sir Kaloy, ang dami nating comments sa live. Hindi ko na masundan.
Opo, parang amazing kasi right now po, we have 41,000 viewers and running to 42,000. So it's amazing kasi it indicates, it shows that our DepEd or our teachers in the Department of Education are so eager to learn, are so eager to know what is this, are we talking about, itong PPST, itong RPMS-PPST ng ating mga guro in the new normal. Di ba, Miss Bianca?
Totoo yan, sir. Actually, nung weekend pa talaga natin binabantayan yung mga comments ng ating guro. And yun lang talaga, same ang sentiment. Sobrang excited sila to watch our 3-day episode. So, Sir Kaloy, baka you'd want to share ano po ba ang i-expect ng ating mga guro for this afternoon?
Ayun. Yes, Miss Bianca, this afternoon po, we're going to discuss about the new things that we need to learn about the RPMS-PPST. Kung ano yung mga phases, kung ano ba yung nabago, ano ba yung updates, kung ano ba yung mga protocols ngayon. Ilang observations na lang po ba? Ilang indicators na lang po ba? Yun po ay tatalakayin natin later on po as we go on with our live.
Ayun.
Yes, Miss Bianca.
Ayan. We would like to inform everyone also that this activity is partnered by BHROD with our Philippine Normal University Research Center for Teacher Quality. So ayan, so aside from BHROD, I'm sure iba sa ating mga audience, narinig nyo na rin po yung RCTQ. Kasama namin sila lagi to make sure that the tools, the policies, the mechanisms na binababa namin sa inyo ay contextualized for your needs. Diba, Sir
Tama
Aloy?
po. Yes, tama, Miss Bianca. Kasi nga in DepEd po, we are promoting and advocating collaborative work. Parang tulungan po lahat ng mga guro, especially in this time of pandemic, that we cannot just survive alone. We need the partnership of everyone in the community. Yun po talaga yung gusto natin dito sa DepEd, sa lahat ng mga guro natin. Miss
Tama,
Bianca,
Sir.
also, di ba ngayong
Yes.
hapon, meron tayong mga kasama but we're going to introduce them later, di ba po?
Yes,
Excited
totoo.
ako sa mga kasama
Ako
natin
din,
ngayon.
actually, sobrang excited ko this afternoon. Later, we will be joined by 2 special guests.
Oo,
Pero
excited ako, nakaka-starstruck if ever.
Before we introduce them, everyone, we would like first to introduce to you, to welcome to you, ang aming Undersecretary for Planning and Human Resource and Organizational Development, or Undersecretary for BHROD, si Yusek Jess, for his welcome message.
Good afternoon to all of you. You know, the COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected our lives in DepEd, but particularly the school, more especially the schools. The pandemic has taken its toll on the way we do things. It has affected all education stakeholders, meaning our learners, our teachers, education leaders, staff, education partners, parents, families, and our communities. It has changed the entire Philippine education landscape. We started the school year in October instead of June, simply because of this. We also shifted to distance learning modalities, modified our learning resources and materials, adjusted the learning assessment mechanism, upskilled and reskilled our teachers to adapt to the demands of the new normal. Suddenly, we cannot do what we used to be doing. But looking back at the past 11 months, I can say that the department has come a long way in adapting new and diverse challenges brought about by the pandemic. But I am glad to note that even though the face of teaching and learning has changed, We, in our department, remain true to our mandate of ensuring the delivery of quality, accessible, relevant, and liberating basic education to our learners. Despite numerous roadblocks and unprecedented circumstances, we continue to implement education policies and programs that contribute to the realization of DEPED's mission, vision, core values, and strategic thrusts and directions. Our schools continue to welcome learners. Our virtual classrooms continue to be avenues for learning. And DEPED continues to deliver quality basic education. We carried out the basic education continuity plan for the belief, all for the belief that learning should never stop. My dear teachers, you are one of the most, if not the most important element of the basic education learning continuity plan. Being at the forefront in our communities all over the country, you are the foundational instrument for its successes. While a few may have doubts about the success of the school year, even some of us here today may wonder how all this will turn out come end of school year in June. I know we did not come to this battle just to lose it. And let's prove ourselves right. Let's come up evidence-based data and information to validate that despite the pandemic, we will continue to uphold dignity and excellence in our teaching practice. Let's make it official that despite the uniqueness of the condition, we continue to hit the marks for not only satisfactory nor very satisfactory by outstanding performance. In this 3-day live broadcast, we will walk you through with the results-based performance management system in time of pandemic. Our RPMS experts, resource persons, and teacher guests will introduce to you the PPST-based performance objectives that we will use this school year 2020-2021, the forms and tools that you will use, and the MOBs that you will be asked to show. I know that the word MOV has somehow gained an unpleasant connotation in the past. This time, I want to change it to something all of us can be proud of. Let our RPMS school year 2020-2021 be a means of verification, or MOB, that will show that indeed you, teachers, my teachers, have done your part to ensure that every child receives the education that they deserve. We all know that because of the pandemic, teachers have been compelled to face challenges that they've never known before. Teachers teach in familiar platforms or classrooms and strive in a whole new, different battlefield. So, while we may doubt our claim of a successful school year, I have never doubted your devotion to continue a sharing part of yourselves to our learners and community. That alone, I can say that we have already won. Maraming salamat, and I hope you all enjoy this RPMS live broadcast. God bless. Ingat po tayo. Sundin po yung mga protocols natin. Mabuhay.
Ayun, so thank you po. You suggest, no, talagang we have to celebrate kasi we are graced by our no less than the USEC po of BHROD. At tapos, meron pa siyang reminder that we need to follow the protocol set by ITF para naman po safe tayong lahat dito sa DepEd.
Always.
Yeah, tama. This time naman po, let's hear a welcome message coming from the Director 4 of the BHROD. Let's give it up to Attorney Ann Rachel Miguel.
Our Undersecretary for Planning, Human Resources and Organizational Development, and International Cooperations Office, USEC Jess Mateo, our dear teachers, school heads, supervisors and superintendents, regional directors, a pleasant afternoon to all. In 2017, we have adopted the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, which serves as a public statement that we, in the Department of Education, takes basic education delivery seriously. It is our vision to produce graduates that are equipped with the desired values and competencies that will enable them to realize their full potential and contribute to nation building. In doing so, we have to continuously improve ourselves to better serve our learners and stakeholders. The adoption of the PPST is a commitment to the realization of that vision. And at the same time, it is also a challenge. It is a challenge posed to every one of us that high quality standards of teaching practice are seen and reflected in our classrooms and in everything we do as stewards of education. It is a challenge for us in BHROD and RPMS focus in central office, regional offices, and SDOs to make all systems, mechanisms, tools, and materials available, accurate, and understandable. We have to ensure that we provide all necessary support to you, our teachers, because we recognize that the bigger challenge is on your shoulders, and that is living by the professional standards of teacher quality. We have proven in the last 2 years that despite the roadblocks, we have managed to withstand the birth pains of the implementation of the RPMS-PPST. It is very unfortunate, though, that while we have yet to make it through the 37 indicators, another huge roadblock is here to confront us, and that is this pandemic. It is here to test our resilience as education leaders and ability to deliver quality education regardless of the situation. A lot of changes have happened in the last 10 months. Because of this pandemic, we are compelled to adjust, adapt, re-strategize, and to think outside the box. But since we cannot just tell our learners and children that we wait and we should be patient as we do all these modifications in the curriculum, learning delivery and resources, we needed to step up. And as what we always say in BHROD, we needed to change the tires while the car is moving. And the big question now is how? How will we be able to uphold the professional standards and high quality of teaching when we are dealing with a bigger problem? How will we be able to perform our best efforts when we are in an unfamiliar classroom? This is the reason why we are all here today. In this 3-day live broadcast, we hope that we will be able to answer all your hows and provide you with the right tools and materials that you will be needing for you to showcase the professional standards in your performance amid this strange situation. We are confident that the PPST indicators featured in RPMS 2020 to 2021, along with all the MOVs, would be reflective of the alternative learning strategies that are demanded from us by distance learning. With the help of our partners in the Research Center for Teacher Quality, our RPMS-PPST National Technical Working Group, and all the field RPMS focus, who really took time and effort in the development of the RPMS tools and materials, we are now ready to share with you what we have come up with. We hope that we put forward on your plates today that would indeed help you in the fulfillment of your mandates as teachers. Like what we always dream of in BHROD, we hope that you view the RPMS the way we appreciate it, not as a burden, but as a useful tool to document and validate high-quality standards of teaching practice. Let me congratulate HRDD for spearheading this orientation. Again, thank you very much, and I wish everyone a productive week ahead.
So thank you for that, Director Rachel. No? Salamat po sa opening message po para sa ating mga kaguruan. Miss Bianca.
Yes, thank you to our USEC and Director Rachel. Yun nga, Sir Kaloy, abuti na lang nakadaan sila sa ating big activity. And now, Sir Kaloy, alam mo ba kung ilang viewers na tayo at this hour?
Yun nga, I'm so excited. Ilan na po? Bilan na po lahat?
Currently,
right
as of, anong oras na ba? As of 4:16 p.m., we are at 111.6.
Wow! Wow, that's amazing!
All over the Philippines.
Yes,
thank
parang
you
parang nakaka-pressure din kasi maraming
sobrang
maraming nanonood,
nakaka-pressure, sir.
maraming nakakakita. By the way, bago tayo po mag-proceed sa ating mga sa ating next na activity, we would like to invite all our viewers to please po comment down below your location kung saan po kayo nanggaling. Tapos hello po everyone doon sa mga kasama ko nga taga Mindanao. Maayong hapon, nalipay ko nga nagkita kitang tanan karon.
Yes po, we encourage everyone to use our chat box or rather our FB comments para later makaka-interact din po namin kayo. Sir Kaloy?
Yes, Miss Bianca. Excited na ako sa ating guest ngayon. Parang
No, so,
kung
tawagin na ba
lalabas-
natin?
Oo, kung lalabas itong guest natin ngayon, for sure, sasabog yung viewers natin. Kasi nga, artistahin to eh.
Sige, Sir Kaloy, I would like to call on our two teacher guests, Teacher Ads and Teacher Lester. Nandito na ba kayo?
Ayun!
Hi!
Ma'am and sir.
Hello
Ma'am
po,
and
Sir
sir.
Lester and Ma'am Ads.
Ayan, ma'am and sir, please introduce yourselves sa ating 115K audience now. So please tell them your name, kung saang division kayo, your school, and kung ano ang inyong naging pastime nitong pandemic. Teacher Ads, would you like to start?
Okay, so ako naman na. Hi everyone! Welcome back to the DEPED Philippines Facebook page. I am Teacher Ads and I will be your guide in understanding the RPMS-PPST. Hindi ako yun pag hindi ko yun sinabi. Miss Bianca and Sir Kaloy, Sir Lester. Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. I am Adeline Bartolome from the City of Stars, Division of Quezon City, a teacher too from San Antonio Elementary School. Hello po sa aming proactive na SDS, Dr. Janeline Rose B. Corpus, at sa aming equally proactive na school head, Mr. Antonio P. Miranda. Ganyan din sa aking mga mahuhusay at masisipag na friends and co-teachers. Ang tanong mo, Ma'am Bianca, how many years na ako nagtuturo?
Yes po.
I have been teaching for almost 13 years now.
Wow.
5 in the private school and this is my 8th in the public school. Ang pastime ko, syempre, pastime din ng lahat, mag-Facebook at manood ng mga videos na nakakatawa para pang distress. And by the way, ngayon pa lang, thank you very much na po for inviting me here to represent my dear proficient teachers in the field. Thank you po.
Ayun, so thank you for that, Teacher Ads, no? How about Sir Lester naman po?
Yes, a marvelous Monday po to our dear, passionate DepEd educators all over the Philippines sa buong kapuluan po, no? Ako po si Lester John Cajes, nakaka-pressure yung introduction ni Teacher Ads. So should I say, I am Teacher Lester. And together, let us shine and make others shine too. Wow.
Wow naman.
Kaya-kaya. Kapata naman, sir.
Oo, sana no, kahit pa paano. Kasi YouTube star to si Teacher Ads. No? Ako po ay mula sa Las Piñas National High School, Master Teacher 1, of course from SDO Las Piñas City. At syempre binabati ko po no, ang aking ever supportive principal, Mr. Ignacio Elson Jr. and our indefatigable SDS, Dr. Joel T. Torrecampo and ASDS, Mr. Juan C. Obierna. Ayan. So, and of course, all my fellow teachers no, sa buong division, sa buong school, kamusta po kayong lahat? And it's you were asking no kung ilang taon na. It's my 8th year. It's my 8th year with DepEd and the 9th in the teaching profession. And I'm also looking forward to, you know, sharing my insights with my fellow highly proficient teachers, no, master teachers as regards RPMS. Pastime ko ngayon, parang kay Teacher Ads din. I love watching random videos. Nga lang, both YouTube and TikToks, no? TikTok, I mean, random videos, both funny and educational. Yan. Good afternoon po once again.
Wow naman. Ang ganda naman ng pastime nila. Sana ganun din yung pastime natin, Miss Bianca, no?
Oo nga, sana meron tayong time man lang, Sir Kalo. Sige po, Teacher Lester and Teacher Ads, we would like to ask you, since we are on the topic of RPMS in the time of COVID, matanong lang po, how was your 2020? So let's look back. Ano po ang mga ginagawa nyo last year, pre-pandemic and during the pandemic? Teacher Ads, maybe you can start.
Ma'am Bianc, sa pre-pandemic, wala naman kaming problema. I and my co-teachers were happily teaching in our classrooms as classroom teachers until the community quarantine was announced. So, inisip namin baka 2 weeks lang yan. Hanggang na-extend na ng na-extend at nawala na kami ng graduation rights. So, during the pandemic, sir, ma'am, na malayo pa sa school opening, okay pa. Pero when it was announced that schools will open in August, nagsimula na akong mag-hair fall. Kasi nasi-stress na ako nung time na yon. So, daming seminars na ina-attenda ng mga teachers. Hindi lang ako sigurado, lahat ng mga teachers na nanonood, sigurado ang dami rin nilang na-attenda na seminars nung time na yan. At habang dumadami yung seminars, lalo akong napo-frustrate kasi feeling ko ang haba ng learning curve ko. Magsa-start na yung school year, di pa ako tapos mag-aral. So, feeling ko rin, nung time na yun, parang may seminar fatigue na ako. Parang so many things to do, so little time. Ano bang gagawin ko dito? Yun, kaya I was relieved when the opening of classes was moved to October 5. Medyo nagkaroon ako ng time para gawin pa kung ano yung pwede kong gawin. Ganun po.
Ayun, no, what's good about DepEd teachers kasi we're making time. Kumbaga, ayun. So, while meron tayong enough time to study and to learn new things, yun po yung ginagawa namin. And thank you for that, Teacher Az. Kasi, merong affirmation from a teacher na talagang yung natin talaga sa field ay really doing their best so that they can learn. Before we go to the next episode, matanong din po kayo. Ano po yung mga unang ginawa natin? O kumusta po tayo doon sa mga first week or first month po ng opening natin noong October 1? How are you doing po as a teacher in the field po?
Baka this time naman si Teacher Lester naman.
Sir Lester naman.
Yes.
Yes. But I wanted sana to say something earlier. Sabi ko nga siguro kay Teacher Ads din 2020 was really cinematic. Parang hindi lang naman ako, I think everybody else felt na nakikita natin yung mga hindi natin in-expect na makita kahit sa pelikula. No? I think that was melodramatic to say, but it actually happened. No? So kami nga po, nung mga unang bahagi ng pagbubukas ng taong panuruan, I actually had two things to focus on. Number one, syempre as a teacher, I also had to prepare myself. Kung ano ba yung mga bagong gagamiting technology, for example, or modality in terms of dealing with our learners. So that's, I think, one of the most important, if not the most important thing during that time. Bukod, of course, sa pag-maintain ng ating mental health. I was really looking forward also. Maybe this is not a very popular opinion, but I was looking forward to using the technology which I've been using even before the pandemic. Sabi ko nga, naisip ko, hindi man magandang sabihin, parang it was a blessing in disguise. Kasi imagine, with just one snap, biglang ginagamit na natin si Google Meet, si Google Classroom, and all the other applications which actually have been introduced already, even prior to the pandemic. So, siguro if there's one thing na na-realize kong kahit paano yung minaidulot na maganda yung pandemic is that the dynamics, the teachers' resources were actually expanded even more. So that's one, yun po yung isa. Another thing was, ako ay mapalad po na naging bahagi ng core planning team. I was part of those teachers and administrators na talaga namang nag-usap-usap, pinag-usapan kung paano yung magiging takbo, for example, ng distribution of modules, paano, for example, magkakaroon ba tayo ng online class, sino yung mga pwedeng umattend ng online class, may video lessons ba. So I was also very happy na kinonsulta din yung mga guro in terms of the learning delivery modality na maaaring gamitin sa pagbubukas ng taong panuruan. Yun. So that kept me busy for the first few months po of the school year.
How about naman po si Teacher Ads?
Yung first few months ng online, syempre honestly, stressful pa rin yan. Pero I was trying to cope. Yun nga, thankful ako na na-move kasi maraming time to prepare. Tapos, di ba, ang dami kong natutunan sa seminar. Gusto ko naman ngayon, lahat yun gagamitin ko. So, yun naman yung naging next na problem ko. Parang iniisip ko lahat ng mga natutunan ko dito sa seminar na to para hindi masayang. Kailangan gamitin ko lahat. Pero later on, na-realize ko na hindi ko naman dapat pagsabay-sabayin. So, it was a series of experimentations, of hit and miss. So, hanggang sa naisip ko na, bakit pa pinapahirapan ko yung sarili ko? There are things that we learned na kahit maganda pa siya, kung hindi naman kaya, bakit ko ipipilit? Meron namang kaya, pero hindi kaya ng mga bata, bakit ko rin yan ipipilit? So later on, na-trim down ko na kung alin lang yung mga kailangan at kaya kong gamitin. Hindi na masyadong stressful nung gano'n na yung nangyayari. Yun.
Ayan. Thank you, Teacher Ads and Teacher Lester. So, given everything that you've said po, no, so regardless kung pre-pandemic or during pandemic, very evident naman na ang ating mga guro talaga laging may ginagawa. So, naisip lang po namin na since this is a orientation on the RPMS, nung nag-start nga yung klase, so from October to December, so the latter part of the year, naisip niyo pa po ba yung kung paano kayo ma-assess? Naisip niyo pa ba na, nako, kailangan itong mga ginagawa ko ma-make sure kung malagay ko pa sa portfolio ko? Did that even cross your mind? Maybe Teacher Teacher Lester, you can start po.
Yeah, ito na, pumapasok na tayo sa usapang RPMS.
Ito na talaga.
Doon din talaga tayo pupunta. Well, to be honest, no, the guidelines for the submission of portfolio and IPCRF for the previous school year was a trigger. No, kasi diba during that time, kung natatandaan niyo po ng mga kapwa ko guro, tayo ay nagsimula ng mag-explore, no, ng alternative means of accomplishing our RPMS, our IPCRF. So actually, during that time and even after that, naisip ko na rin, ano kayang magiging mukha, no, ng RPMS-PPST this coming school year, no, amid the pandemic? Ano kayang mangyayari? Anong magiging role ko as a teacher at the same time as an observer, no, to be particular? So I was already thinking about those things. Tapos dumating na nga yung pag-open ng classes. And you know what, interestingly, my colleagues, my co-teachers, even some head teachers and master teachers were also asking me, Sir Lester, ano na bang mangyayari sa classroom observation? Kami ba ay papasok sa Google Meet? Kami ba ay papasok sa Google Classroom? So naisip ko, yes, we were preparing for the opening of the school. No, we were preparing for the things that we have to offer to our learners given our circumstances. Pero at the back of our minds, feeling ko yung ibang teachers, ganun din naman. No? Naisip naman din namin. No? And after all, kung ano naman yung ginagawa natin, no, which is demanded currently, I think that will also embody our performance. So, yes, sumagi siya sa isipan ko, pero syempre, focus muna doon sa ano talaga, sa delivery ng learning continuity plan.
Ayun. So thank you po Sir Lester. Talaga naman pagguro talaga kasi we all know that we will be rated at the end of the school year. Kaya nandun talaga yun sa isip natin. As di ba po si Sir Lester ay master teacher, so siya ay rater din at the same time ratee. So now, let's hear naman from Teacher Ads. Teacher Ads, ikaw naman po.
Ko, Sir Kaloy, actually, mas naaalala ko yung RPMS pag nagbabasa na ako ng inbox. Sasabihin ng mga subscribers, Teacher Ads, ano na ba? May bago na ba? Ano nang meron sa RPMS? Paano kami i-observe? Hindi
Iba talaga yung mga YouTuber eh.
Ganun na yung sinasabi.
Ads.
Oo, sasabihin, hindi swak yung luma, nagpapa-observe ako, pero hindi kayang i-observe yung mga nandito. So, may bago ba? So, yung naalala ko na naman na kailangan nga pala ng bago. Pero, syempre, as a teacher and a part of the RPMS training team at the same time, I am also wondering about how the RPMS would run in the new normal. Pero, siguro masyado akong busy sa pag-aaral ng Google Meet nung time na yun at ng mga Google Classroom para isipin ko pa muna yung mga indicators. Siguro nung time na yon, isinantabi ko muna yung pag-iisip tungkol sa performance assessment kasi kailangan unahin ko muna yung pag-aaral ko para sa online classes para ma-deliver ko ng maayos kung ano yung dapat kong ituro.
Ayun, mapapasana all ka talaga kay Teacher Ads, no?
Hindi
Bianca
naman
po.
siya. Kasi, Sir Kaloy, na-pressure naman ako dun sa opening mo. Sasabog talaga yung So, yan. Medyo ginagalingan ko.
Yes, Miss Bianca.
Ayan, thank you, Teacher Ads and Teacher Lester. So ayan, Sir Kaloy, ngayon pa lang sa mga sagot ni na Teacher Ads and Teacher Lester, medyo may idea na talaga tayo kung ano ba yung mga pinagdaanan. I know they're just two teachers. They don't represent the entirety of our teacher workforce. Pero in a way, nakikita na rin natin at narinig na rin natin kung ano ba yung mga pinagdaanan nila last year. And I think for me, ang key takeaway ko, very similar kay Teacher Lester and kay Teacher Ads, ay talagang in terms of performance, hindi yan priority sa kanila. Meaning, ang focus nila ay ang trabaho nila at ang learners nila, which for me I think is one good quality of the teacher. Hindi niya iniisip kung dapat ginagawa ko to para mataas ang rating ko, ginagawa ko to para sa estudyante ko, which is very admirable. Don't you think so, sir?
Yes, totoo naman po. Kasi yun naman talaga yung trabaho ng guro. Ang guro ay talaga para magturo, makapag transfer ng knowledge sa kanyang mga estudyante. So the same din yung na-observe ko now that I am here in the field, now that I am here in Iligan City, nakita ko din yung effort ni na teacher as a teacher Lester. Same naman din sa guro namin dito, sa mga guro namin dito sa Iligan City at sa buong Region 10.
Ayan, sir. Sige po. Sir Kaloy, I think we are ready to really start our sessions, no?
Yes, warm up pa lang yun, di ba po?
Oo, warm up pa lang yan sa lahat ng mga sharing na narinig nyo. Ano pa lang yan, tip of the iceberg. In the in the next few slides and even sa ating episode 2 and 3, we will go deeper sa ating mga RPMS phases. So, please, we request our audience to stay tuned until day 3 ng aming program. So, ready na po ba kayo? Shall we start?
Ready na.
Ayan,
simulan na natin, Miss Bianca.
Simulan na natin ang presentation ng orientation. Ayan. So, ayan po sa ating mga audience. You are now 134,000. Thank you very much for tuning in and supporting itong initiative namin sa BHROD and sa RCTQ. Now, so for the next few slides po, we will be focusing on, of course, the RPMS. But we know na sa ating mga kaguruan ngayon, hindi na po ito bago sa inyo because the DO and the PPST was released 3 years ago. But para po meron tayo, kumbaga, leveling. And for the benefit din po ng ating mga teachers na bago sa workforce, we will present you first with an overview of the RPMS-PPST. So paano po ba nabuo itong ating standards? So back in 2012, all of this was triggered by the Civil Service Commission MC Circular number 6, which mandated all agencies in the public sector to implement a strategic performance management system or ang SPMS. I'm sure marami sa inyo ang nakarinig na yan. So this SPMS, hindi lang siya sa DEPED but also sa iba pang mga ahensya tulad ng DNR, DPWH, even DSWD, as well as ang iba't iba pa nating mga local government units, GOCCs, and ang ating mga state universities and colleges. And from this memorandum, of course, 3 years later, we now have DEPED Order number 2, which is our very famous guidelines on the establishment and implementation of the results-based performance management system in the DepEd. So from SPMS, kami po sa BHROD, we came up with a more contextualized version of this performance management system. And dito sa DO2, dito po nakalatag ang how we plan our performance targets, how we monitor them, and how we evaluate them all in 1 year. And I'm sure karamihan po talaga sa atin, lalo na sa field, ay ginagawang reference itong DepEd Order number 2. But ito talaga ang ating topic for today. In 2017, as support to our DO2, nilabas na po natin ang National Adoption and Implementation of the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. So ito po, kasama namin ang Research Center for Teacher Quality or RCTQ sa paggagawa ng not just the standards, no, but all the resources and tools na kailangan nyo para ma-implement nyo po ang PPST. So yan po ang ating mga legal basis. Yan po yung ating mga foundational documents on the PPST. Pero ano nga po ba ang PPST? So what is PPST? It sets the clear expectations for you, our teachers. And it provides a framework of uniform measures to assess ang inyo pong performance. Also, the document is a public statement of your professional accountability. And ito, ang ating last two bullets, ito po yung pinaka-importanting manote nating lahat. Sa PPST po, meron tayong 4 career stages. Ito ang beginning, proficient, highly proficient, at ang distinguished. And then, meron din po itong 7 domains, 37 strands, and 37 indicators for each career stage. I know to some, maybe the numbers are very daunting, pero wag po kayong mag-alala. Of course, kami sa BHROD and RCTQ, make sure na itong mga indicators na ito ay dinadahan-dahan namin ng pagpapababa sa inyo. And of course, pag nagro-roll out kami ng mga ganitong kalalaking intervention, syempre meron yung mga kasamang capacity building and tools for your use. So later sa next session natin and even sa ating mga next episodes, you will notice that among the 4 career stages, we will be focusing on 2, which is the proficient and highly proficient. So stay tuned po tayo doon. Ayan. So sa mga kasama ko ngayon sa audience, I'm sure na marami din po sa inyo nakakakilala sa cake na ito pag naka-attend na kayo ng training with RCTQ and BHROD, lalo na sa usapang performance management. I'm sure napakita na po namin ito sa mga slides. So nakikita nyo here, merong isa tayong picture ng cake and a whole pie. Ang ibig sabihin lang po na to ay the HR systems, the DEPED HR systems are anchored on the PPST. So what we mean by this is, ang ating existing system sa DEPED, so your rewards and recognition, your L&D, your recruitment, selection, and placement, eventually po what we goal or what we target sa BHROD ay i-align yan sa ating existing professional standards. But for now, dinadahan-dahan nga po namin, for now, ang RPMS pa lang ang ina-align natin sa PPST, and it has been 3 years. So maybe in the next few years, we will explore na kung alin namang HR system ang ating i-align sa ating standards for teachers. So yan po, isa sa mga pwede nyo i-look forward to dito sa ginagawa namin sa BHROD. But before we continue, meron po muna akong tanong sa mga audience natin na nanonood. I know na marami po sa inyo ang bumabate saying na kayo ay nanonood from this SDO or from this region. But, ayan po, meron po kaming pinost na tanong sa screen nyo. Pwede pong pakisagot. Sa tingin nyo po ba, is PPST part of RPMS or is RPMS part of the PPST? So, nakabantay po kami sa inyong comments. Please let us know, ano ba sa tingin nyo? Is PPST part ng RPMS or is it the other way around? So, while waiting po sa inyong mga sagot, can I call back Sir Kaloy, Teacher Ads, and Teacher Lester? Especially si Teacher Ads and Teacher Lester dahil sila ang guest natin today. Ma'am and Sir, sa tingin nyo, ano ba ang sagot dito? Teacher Ads, ikaw kaya?
Secret pa muna kasi nagsasagot pa sila eh.
Ay, oo nga pala. Sorry. Pero meron na kayong idea in mind, no?
Yes, actually, Ma'am Bianx, itong Sir Kaloy and Sir Les, itong tanong na to, lagi itong nag-a-appear. Kasi parang ang daming nagtatanong na si RPMS ba ay part ng PPST o si PPST ang part ni RPMS. So, sigurado ako mamaya sasagutin niya rin yan. Pero Sir Les, ganun din ba yung na-experience mo?
Yes, actually, siguro nga kung may qualifying exam ng RPMS PPST, baka isa to sa mga unang katanungan po talaga. Kasi I think more than asking this question, no, mas mahalaga kasi na yung pag-unawa, no, ano ba talaga yung RPMS, ano ba yung PPST, more than knowing kung ito ba ay bahagi ng isa. I think it's understanding each of them that's really more important for teachers, for us teachers.
True, tama po. Tama po yung mga sharing po natin, no? The same din naman dito sa amin, nagtatanong din, sino ba talaga, sir, which is which? Part po ba ng RPMS, si PPST, or the other way around? So I am so excited to look into the comments of our viewers. Pakitingin nga kasi
Oo nga,
hindi rin
sir.
ako
Pero parang halo-halo lang din, sir. Pwedeng, part siya ng RPMS. Meron naman na hindi yan magkakasama. So, tingnan natin ano nga ba ang tamang sagot.
Yes, Miss
Ayan.
Bianca.
PPST is not part of the RPMS, but rather a standalone document. In the same way, RPMS is not part of the PPST. It is a pre-existing system requirement from the Civil Service Commission. So ayan po mga ma'am sir na nanonood sa amin, hindi sila part ng isa't isa. Kung tama po kung naintindihan niyo yung pagkaka-explain. No? But rather, what we are doing is showing you the link or creating the link ng dalawa nitong ating standards and ng ating system.
Ayun. So, klaro naman din po pala, Miss Bianca, na si RPMS ay isang system ng HR. Tapos si PPST ay standard ng mga teachers. So, for us to reconcile this one, pinattern natin si RPMS doon sa standard ng teacher para talagang ma-measure natin ang teacher sa tamang sa tamang gauge, kasi mahirap nating i-assess si teacher according to something na hindi naman talaga niya ginagawa. So ayun, Miss Bianca, maraming salamat.
Ayan. Thank you, Sir Kaloy. So ayan po. So babalikan lang natin, no. So what started as SPMS became our RPMS through DO2, and now through DO17 ito na ang ating Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. So ito yung sinasabi na PPST aligned RPMS. So, ayan po ang ating... Ayan, ito naman kaya, Sir Kaloy, pwede bang paki-enlighten kami sa diagram na nakikita natin ngayon sa screen?
Yes, Miss Bianca. Actually, ito yung nakikita ng DepEd. Ito yung direction na gusto nating tahakin dito sa Department of Education. Una po, meron tayong RPMS-PPST. Kumbaga, ang RPMS ng guro or ang IPCRF ng guro ay pattern or align doon sa PPST ng ating standard ng mga teacher. If we have this kind of RPMS po na pattern doon or align doon sa ating standard bilang guro, we will be collecting the data that we have gathered. As you can remember po, last time, nagko-collect tayo ng, di ba meron tayong automated na IPCRF collection, tapos sinend nyo doon sa system natin, in-upload natin sa system natin. Nandito na po tayo sa pangalawang level po, which is the national data on teachers' performance. Ang purpose po talaga nito is that we get the genuine, the actual data in the field. Ang purpose po nito ay para po makakome up tayo ng magandang, ayan, yung una is the
Nawala po ata si Sir Kaloy.
will
Tama
do the career progression. Kung paano po natin nakikitang mag-i-improve, magpa-progress si teacher sa kanyang profession being a teacher. Once we accomplish, once we come up with this very good plan for our teachers, we will have quality teachers. And with that, pag meron na tayong quality teachers, basically it will result to quality education. Kasi yun naman talaga yung target natin noon pa. When I was still in elementary, quality education. Yun yung nasa bubong. Ngayon, wala na siya sa bubong. Nilagay na natin siya sa loob ng classroom.
Tama yan, Sir Kaloy. Actually, na-notice nga parang I think safe to assume naman na ever since talagang nilabas tong PPST and talagang na-absorb na siya ng ating mga kaguruan, parang ang dami na natin ngayong mga highly proficient teachers. No bias. Sure ako.
Totoo. Kasi alam na nila Alam nila kung anong i-gather nila. Alam na nila kung ano yung gagawin nila for them to perform outstandingly for a year po.
Ayan. So, now that we have established kung ano yung parang journey nitong PPST natin ngayon, no, ilagay natin sa ating current context, which is itong 2020. So, like what Teacher Ads and Teacher Lester shared kanina, yung mga yung experience nila last year, marami tayong pinagdaanan, not just a country but also the whole world. So, a lot of us went under community quarantine at iba-iba pang level starting March. Maraming usapin tungkol sa mga testing, sino makakapag-test, meron bang testing, but now we have seen na nag-progress tayo. Everyone is being tested right now. And also, dahil at the first part of the year, sobrang na-stop ang ating movement, even our work, even though we are in the government, parang tayo, isa yun sa mga challenge na hinarap natin, no? How are we able to deliver our government services? Lalo tayo sa DepEd, how will we deliver basic education kung ang mga tao, ang ating mga estudyante, ating mga teachers ay bawal pumasok sa eskwelahan. So isa yan sa mga talagang kinonsider natin when we were developing the various interventions dito sa department. But ayun nga po, as the year progressed, as the months went by, we were able to slowly but surely create measures and protocols to make sure na ang ating workforce ay bumalik sa, or not really bumalik, magkaroon ng new normal. Kaya ngayon po, mas marami ng taong nakakalabas. Just make sure na tayo ay sumusunod sa mga kanya-kanya nating protocols. Pero sa case po natin sa DepEd in particular, tayo sa education sector, I'd like to think na itong nakalabas sa screen po natin ngayon, ang isa sa pinakamalaking changes na na-experience natin, and that is the learning delivery modality. So Teacher Ads and Teacher Lester, kayo po ba sa inyong eskwelahan, ano po bang learning mode ang ginagamit niyo?
Sa school namin, blended learning yung aming ginagamit. Kasi yun din naman yung binabasa amin sa NCR yon.
Kayo kaya, Sir Lester, paano naman po kayo?
Yeah, sa amin po, no, by default, we implement the modular distance learning, meaning all of our learners receive copies of the modules and activity sheets. But to supplement, we also offer, but not mandatorily, online conferences or online consultations via Google Meet. We also have asynchronous learning via Google Classroom. At syempre, hinihikayat din namin yung mga learners namin na manood ng mga episodes sa DepEd TV. And some teachers also initiate, the school also initiated a project of developing localized video lessons as well. So in other words, blended din po, and we explore all the possible ways that we have.
Ayun.
Talagang iba-iba talaga yung context, no? Sir, Sir Kaloy, kayo dyan sa Iligan.
Opo, dito naman sa Iligan, iba kasi nga yung SDS namin at ASDS namin ay talagang active. What we did is, we do a survey. Tinanong po namin yung mga guro, mga teacher, mga magulang. Ang ginawa po ng mga magulang ay nag-answer sila doon sa survey. They were asked as to what modality they want to avail in DepEd. So what we did now, since varied kasi yung na-avail ng mga parents, kasi iba-iba yung equipment meron sila sa bahay, iba-ibang facility meron sila. So what we did in the division office is we provided them with all the things that we can. Example, we operated a radio base. Right now, I'm here in the studio of the radio or RBI. Also, we have a TV or parang online sa TV po na division-based naman po na TV-based instruction. Also, we have online education and the modular naman po na ginagamit natin and the blended thing. Kung saan swak ang facility ng guro, ng mga parents, doon po kami pumapasok. Doon po pumapasok si Iligan City because we really want to provide quality education to our learners. Depende doon sa kanilang gusto at kanilang kaya po.
Tama, Sir Kaloy. Talagang mahirap na mag-prescribe ng isang mode, no? Kailangan talaga maraming options dahil iba-iba ang ating konteksto. So ito pong sinasabi nating learning delivery modality, what triggered this ba? Ngayon, sa ating next slide, makikita niyo po that this was actually triggered by our DO12 series of 2020 or our adoption of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan for school year 2020 to 2021 in the light of COVID-19 public health emergency. Ayan, ang haba. Pero
Miss Bianca.
LCT. Ano, sir?
Tanong din natin sa mga audience while you are doing their live, ano naman yung mga learning delivery modality ninyo? Oo, kasi baka baka meron silang unique na delivery modality at tapos gusto nilang i-share sa ating lahat. So now, in the comment box po below, please jot down po, i-chat po natin kung ano po yung learning delivery modality natin na ini-employ natin sa ating mga kanya-kanyang schools.
Yes, thank you po. Like what Sir Kaloy said, wag po kayo mag-alala kahit marami kayo nagko-comment, matatrack po namin yan because we have our team sa aming back-end, sa aming studio na tinitingnan ang inyong mga comments, ang inyong mga questions para later ay makapture namin sa discussion. So going back to this slide po, so again, yung ating distance learning was triggered by this particular DepEd order, no? So itong DO 12-2020, and in this particular DO, ito po yung mga nakadetalye dyan. So first, the change in the demand for teaching and learning. So connected na po dito yung sinabi nga namin na shift to distance learning delivery modalities, because 2020 was not our usual, was unlike our previous years na face-to-face. Sobrang iba na po talaga ang landscape, especially sa pagtuturo. So we had to make adjustments. So dito na nga nabuo yung iba't ibang learning modalities like going online or through modules, TV-based programs, radio-based, etc. And of course, kung merong nagbago sa ating learning delivery, syempre ang ating learning resources kailangan din mag-adjust po, no? So kami po sa DepEd, we made sure that we were able to develop adjusted or new learning resources for your distance learning. And also, kung meron kang resources, dapat i-upskill mo rin and i-retool ang iyong mga teachers, because the teachers are our frontliners pagdating sa ating teaching. Tama po ba, Sir Kaloy?
Yes, tama po. So kung naalala po ng ating mga guro, before we start the school year po, talagang nagkaroon tayo ng CAP build. Through NAEP, nagkaroon din tayo ng programa doon sa LDM just to really prepare all the teachers kung ano po yung buhay natin bilang guro sa school year 2020-2021. Miss Bianca po, di ba? Yun po yung upskilling and retooling po na ginagawa po natin.
Yes. So yun po, yung DO12 na tinutukoy namin. So that is for the whole agency. But in particular po sa amin sa BHROD, ito naman po yung naging focus namin. So as the learning delivery change, so do the duties of our teachers and their learners and the performance expected of them. So alam po namin na marami tayong pinagdaanan last year, marami tayong kailangan i-adjust, not just our teacher workforce, but even us, no, sa non-teaching, maraming nagbago. And ang isang challenge po sa amin as BHROD is paano ba namin kayo susuportahan in this kind of environment. So that's why on our end, we created or we made sure that the contextualized RPMS will capture itong mga adjustments that we asked of you. Ayan, so to give you a preview kung ano ba itong mga changes or adjustments na sinasabi namin for the RPMS school year 2020-2021, ito po, itong mga naka-enumerate sa inyong screen, ang mga modifications that we made. No? So first is the objectives. So the objectives taken from the PPST priority indicators were modified. Meron po tayong, later makikita nyo sa part ni Sir Kaloy, makikita nyo kung ano yung mga indicators na dinagdag natin sa ating bagong RPMS tool. Of course, if you update the objectives, syempre meron ding updated ang ating mga means of verification or MOVs. Next is our performance indicators. Also, we will provide you with your alternative classroom observation processes and protocols. And lastly, syempre, with all these changes, hindi naman namin ine-expect na kinabukasan ay magagawa na po natin lahat ito, no? So of course, we provided you with an adjusted timeline ng ating RPMS cycle. Ayan. But given all these changes, hindi naman po to lahat ay ginawa overnight. Of course, the BHROD together with our partner, the RCTQ, starting April pa lang, pinag-usapan na namin kung ano bang klaseng mga tools ang kailangan nyo para masuportahan namin ang inyong teaching practice, no? So we conducted focus group discussions with various stakeholders. So kayo po yan aming mga teachers together with RPSDS, EPS, and some representatives from our CI strand. Meron din syempre nangyaring document analysis. So nag-research din po kami ng iba't ibang literature and also taking notes sa data gathered from our implementation of the BELCP. Meron din tayong consultation with DepEd officials and partners. And also, syempre, dinalidate po namin ang current tools natin, the processes and protocols to make sure that these tools and processes really do work, no? To make sure that these are effective pag binaba namin sa field. Ayan, maraming pinagdaanan kasi mahirap na po magbaba ng mga interventions na wala namang consultation. So like what you just said kanina, kailangan lahat ng mga ginagawa natin sa department ay evidence-based para maging effective. So ang ating PPST priority indicators we have 11 PPST priority indicators for school year 2020 to 2021. And these 11 priority indicators are more responsive and more appropriate to the current context of our teachers, learners, and the learning environment. So later, ipapakita namin sa inyo yung mga indicators, and I think all of you will agree na talagang ito nga ay mas responsive and mas appropriate for the school year 2020-2021. Ito na nga, Sir Kaloy.
Ayun.
The
Yes, Miss
honor.
Bianca. Tama po. So, Miss Bianca, before I'm going to present that, puntahan ko muna si comment box. Nung nagtanong tayo kung anong modality yung ginamit nila, meron akong nakita dito isang teacher, pero ang bilis kasing kasi ang dami nagko-comment, so nawala agad siya. But as I remember, parang Miss Renilieta Ayat, sabi niya, sa klase daw nila gumawa siya ng group chat kasi hindi po lahat ng estudyante niya may internet, may malakas na internet. But lahat po may free data daw. So instead of having video calls, parang live conferencing, what they did is nagchat-chat sila, nag-i-input sila ng mga tanong, queries, at doon naman nire-respond ni teacher. So ganun, it's a good indicator, it's a good indication na yung mga guro natin sa field are really doing their best and maximizing the opportunity to really ensure that there is continuity in the delivery of education. Kasi yun naman talaga yung purpose at saka target natin. So with that naman po, Ma'am Ayat, congratulations. Kayo po you're doing great po. So this time naman, tingnan natin, Ma'am Ayat, kung yan bang ginagawa natin ay pasok ba sa indicators na pinili natin for school year 2021. Ang tanong po, sino yung pumili dito? Sino yung nag-identify na ito yung indicators na ito? Sa sinabi po ni Miss Bianca kanina, dumaan po ito sa proseso. Dumaan po ito sa consultation, dumaan po siya sa verification at interview ng mga iba-ibang tao. If you can remember, parang yun, mga May or April, we do a survey. Tinanong namin ang buong Pilipinas at ng kaguruan through a Google form. Tinanong namin, ano ang ginagawa ng mga guro this new normal? Ano yung mga preparation nyo before the school year? And with those data, we analyze them, and these are the indicators that nakita natin na swak doon sa mga responses nyo. So these are the priority indicators that we have for the proficient. Simulan natin sa proficient. First indicator is applied knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching area. Ito po ay hindi bago. Ginawa na natin ito, inobserve na natin ito sa last school year pa lang. Second indicator is ensure the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process. So ito po ay noon is we use ICT as one of the tools in developing materials, di ba po? Pero this time naman, we ensure positive use of ICT. Ano yung ibig sabihin natin dito? We are going to discuss that later on in our next episode and next discussion po. The third indicator for proficient is apply a range of teaching strategy to develop critical and creative thinking as well as higher order thinking skills. The fourth indicator is establish a learner-centered culture by using teaching strategies that respond to their linguistic, cultural, socio-economic, and religious backgrounds. Number 5, planned and delivered teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographic isolation, chronic illnesses, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resettlement and disaster, child abuse, and child labor practices. Number 6 indicator po, use strategies for providing timely, accurate, and constructive feedback to improve teaching performance at learning performance. So you might say, paano mag-feedback ngayon? Don't worry, we have also a session on that. Number 7 po na indicator for the proficient teacher is selected, developed, organized, and use appropriate teaching and learning resources including ICT to address learning goals. So nakita niyo po itong number 7, parang familiar siya kasi nga ito ay galing pa nung last year na indicator. Next slide po. Also on the 8, ang ipangwalo po natin na indicator ay set achievable and appropriate learning outcomes that are aligned with the learning competencies. Basically naman po as teacher talagang kung gumagawa tayo ng objective, it must be aligned with our competencies. The ninth indicator po is build relationships with parents, guardians, and in the wider school community to facilitate improvement in the educative process. Number 10 po, participated in professional networks to share knowledge and to enhance practice. 'Di ba? Parang ngayong taon nga with the new normal, 'di ba? Parang ang lahat ng seminar are accessible masyado sa lahat ng mga guro. Malayo ka man, nasa city ka man, nasa bundok ka man na nakatira, pero as you can see, lahat ng seminar are accessible kasi we have that online and we have them recorded. So we can go back to their recorded webinars para sa ating mga guro. So that para po ma-improve yung mga sarili natin and our teaching practice. Ang 11th indicator po ay is to develop a personal improvement plan based on reflection of one's practice and ongoing professional learning. So as you can see dito, meron tayong 7 classroom observable indicators, meron tayong 4 na non-classroom observable indicators at isang plus factor. Later, we're going to discuss ano yung mga 7 na classroom observable. Ano yung 4 na non-classroom observable. But before I proceed to that, I would like to ask Teacher Ads. Teacher Ads, bilang proficient teacher po, how do you see these indicators po?
Siguro, Sir Kaloy, sasagutin ko to ng initial observations lang muna dito sa ating mga indicators. Kasi di-discuss pa natin yan sa susunod. So, ito muna. Nakita ko na unlike last year, meron tayong 13 kasama ang plus factor. So, this time, nakikita ko sa pinresent mo, 11 lang ang ating mga priority indicators. Siyempre, idadagdag din natin yung plus factor, so magiging 12. So later on sa computation, magkakaroon pa rin yan ng changes kasi nga nagkaiba yung number. At dito, nakikita din na 7 yung classroom observable indicators, 4 yung non-classroom observable indicators, at saka yung plus factor. Pero sa 7 na yan, alam ko, meron siyang hindi i-observe talaga. Pero susunod na lang. Yan lang muna sa ngayon, sir.
Yes, tama. Ang ganda po ng observation yung Teacher Ed. Kasi if we're going to compare that last year, meron tayong, sabi nga, 13 na indicators kasama si plus factor. And this year, meron lang tayong 12. So, kumbaga, tinanggalan natin ng isa. So, if we're going to look at it by quantity, parang, mas konti ngayon. Second, last year, we have 9 classroom observable indicators. Tapos out from 9, yung 7 ay i-observe natin per observation. So ang dami. Ngayon, meron tayong spoiler alert, 3 na lang. Pero ano yung 3? We're going to have that next, in the next session, we're going to discuss all those things. And there are some other, updates pa. In just, ginagawa naman itong update na ito, ini-inform namin kayo because we want you to know lahat ng guro, whether you are a proficient or highly proficient teacher, we want you to know that BHROD is here to help you. The entire Department of Education po is here to support you. Kaya we are here to give you updates. We are here to give you support in order for us to feel na tayong lahat ay supported at hindi naman tayo iniwanan ng DepEd. This time naman po in our part, we're going to show to you the highly proficient indicators that we will be following for this school year. So meron po tayong ito, ang first indicator po natin for the highly proficient is first, modeled effective application of content knowledge within and across curriculum teaching area. Pangalawa po, we have to promoted effective strategies in the use of in the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process. Pangatlo, developed and applied effective teaching strategies to promote a critical and creative thinking as well as higher order thinking skills. Pang-apat, exhibited a learner-centered culture that promotes success by using effective teaching strategy that respond to the linguistic, cultural, socio-economic, and religious backgrounds. Number 5, evaluated with colleagues teaching strategy that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographic isolation, chronic illnesses, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resettlement and disaster, child abuse, and child labor practices. Pang-anim naman po, used effective strategies for providing timely, accurate, and constructive feedback to encourage learners to reflect and improve on their learning. Pang-pito po is advised and guided colleagues in the selection, organization, development, and the use of appropriate teaching and learning resources, including ICT, to address specific learning goals. Ang pangwalo naman pong indicator ay modeled to colleagues the setting of achievable and challenging learning outcomes that are aligned with the learning competencies to cultivate a culture of excellence for all learners. Number 9 po, guided colleagues to strengthen relationship with parents, guardians, and the wider school community to maximize their involvement in the educative process. Number 10, contributed actively to professional networks within and between school to improve the knowledge and to enhance practice. Number 11 naman po, initiated professional reflection and to promote learning opportunities with colleagues to improve practices. All in all, meron din tayong 7 classroom observable indicators, 4 non-classroom observable indicators, and 1 plus factor. Ngayon, Sir Lester, si Sir Lester naman. Kasi Sir Lester kasi isang master teacher, meaning siya ay highly proficient teacher. Ano po yung masasabi nyo dito sa indicators po natin, Sir Lester, for the highly proficient teachers po?
Yes, no, Sir Kaloy. I think 2 words. Number 1, practical. Another is contextualize. So ako personally, naramdaman ko na pinag-isipan talaga na to suit the situation, to suit the possible performance of teachers, no, of master teachers, particularly like me. No, so salamat DepEd, salamat BHROD, salamat RCTQ. So, 'di ba? Bukod doon, may mga several points lang ako din na-observe. Number 1, sa ating mga master teachers po, no, sa mga kapwa ko master teachers, I think we have to appreciate na even up to this year at sa mga susunod pang taon, yung ating level of practice ay nandun talaga sa level ng modeling, no? That we are not just performing inside our classrooms, but also, mentoring our colleagues, no? Helping out, reaching out to the proficient teachers and all other teachers na pwede naman natin matulungan. So that's one. Another thing that I really appreciate a lot here is that for this year particularly, nag-align na, no, yung mga indicators, yung priority and indicators for highly proficient teachers and proficient teachers ay aligned na. Ibig sabihin, nagko-complement kung ano yung ginagawa ko as master teacher, pwede ko na ring maging tulong, no, doon sa proficient teachers or doon sa aking mga mentees. At the same time, kung ano man yung ginagawa ng mga proficient teachers, ay maaari na ring mag-complement sa aking performance as a master teacher. No? Hitting 2 birds in 1 stone, ika nga. And actually, my personal favorite, no, dear DepEd teachers, ay yung last one. I think this is the last one. No? Develop a personal improvement plan based on reflection of one's practice and ongoing professional learning. Ang counterpart niya po sa highly proficient ay initiated professional reflections and promote learning opportunities with colleagues to improve practice. So, I think it opens a lot of opportunities for us master teachers and teachers to really work hand in hand in terms of professional development. Pangatlo. So naging stuck ko talaga, no? Pangatlo. I was saying contextualize sila, no? I think these are timely indicators. I'm particularly referring to indicators on responding to special educational needs in of students in difficult circumstances, pati na rin yung paggamit ng learning resources including ICT, no, which are really very timely. Sunod, and penultimate maybe, ay makikita natin na kahit ngayon, mas marami pa rin talaga yung classroom observable indicators, no, as compared to the non-classroom observable indicators. Patunay lamang na tayo ay sumusuporta pa rin sa prinsipyo na ang pangunahing gawain talaga ng mga guro ay magturo. Now, still teaching and the classroom, no, are the heart of the teaching profession. At excited din ako doon, no? Excited din akong malaman kung bakit 3 na lang ang gagamitan ng COT. And is this advantageous for the teachers? Malalaman natin yan.
Ayun.
Abangan.
So,
Abangan.
ayun. So, thank you for that, Sir Lester, no? So, ang ganda nung explanation ni Sir Lester. Sa dami talaga. Di ko na ma-reiterate at di ko na ma-recap. Pero ang dami. Nakuha ko naman yung punto ni Sir Lester doon. This time naman, pulso ng bayan tayo. How do you find the indicators we presented? As a proficient teacher or a highly proficient teacher, how do you find these indicators? Tapos, i-comment nyo kung meron kayong di naintindihan or meron kayong tanong. If you have any question in your mind, please comment down na it below. Kasi kung kaya naming isagutin yan ngayon, sasagutin natin. Kung hindi naman, magre-research tayo. Tatanungin natin si Secretary. Tatanungin natin si Yusek para matulungan talaga tayo, gabayan tayo in how we're going to do this school year 2021 po, kung paano natin gagawin si RPMS natin. Kaya wag po kayong mag-atubili, mag-comment po kayo dyan. So, para malaman po namin kung ano yung idea niyo sa ating mga indicators. Ayan. So, this time naman, let's proceed to the discussion of the cycle of RPMS. So, as you can see, hindi na po ito bago. Ito po ay pinaulit-ulit na po natin since 2015. We are following DEPED Order number 2. And in DEPED Order number 2, Series 2015 po, makikita natin na si RPMS ay may apat na phases. Itong apat na phases po, ito pong sinusundan natin sa isang taon na pag-work, pag-perform ni teacher bilang isang guro. Ito po ang isang taong buhay ng guro, ng pagtuturo ng isang guro. So what are the things that we're doing? Ano yung mga ginagawa? Ano yung mga output? Ano yung mga activities kalakip dito sa bawat phases or sa bawat phase ng RPMS? So these are the phases. First is the performance learning and commitment. The second is the performance monitoring and coaching. The third one is the performance review and evaluation. And the fourth one is performance rewarding and development planning. All these phases po, will be tackled later and in the succeeding episodes that we'll be doing. That's why we want to invite you in the next episode, meaning tomorrow po, meron po tayong special discussion on the different phases of RPMS. So this time, I'll be showing you the adjusted cycle of RPMS, the timelines only for school year 2020-2021. Ano yung adjustment na ginawa natin dito? So we need to understand that since the school year opened in October 5, di ba po, October 5, the start of the RPMS will be in the first week of January. Di nyo po nakita yan, but we're going to have a Zoom, or para i-Zoom, hindi man Zoom. I-Zoom natin yan mamaya, papalakihin natin yung snircle natin dyan. Also, in the timelines po, there will be a year-round mentoring and coaching. But in March, we are going to have a mid-year assessment. And tapos, in the phase 3, week after the graduation, dun po tayo magre-rating. And then, in the phase 4, by July po 2021, we will do the phase 4 or the performance rewarding and recognition. Ayun po. Yun po yung mga nabago sa ating timelines. So this time, I'll be discussing to you phase 1. Ano itong phase 1? This is performance planning and commitment. Kailan po ito nangyayari, sir? This happens in the first week of January 2021. Ha? January 2021, sir? Ito mangyayari? So, ano na ngayon, sir? February na. Late na kayo. Don't worry po kasi binaba na po natin itong RPMS guidelines natin in January. Tapos nakita namin how people react, how teachers react, how teacher ask us kung paano natin siya matulungan. So that's why we come up with this national orientation to really give you kung ano yung dapat nating malaman straight from the horse's mouth. Hindi na po natin siya dinaan sa mga layers or mga levels po para po talaga maabot natin lahat ng guro straight from Luzon to the southernmost part of the Philippines ay maabot po natin dito sa ating orientation. So in phase 1 po, these are the activities that we'll be doing. First is discussion and the issuance of RPMS tools and the self-assessment. Bakit po natin i-discuss? Bakit po natin kailangan ipaabot ito sa mga guro? Bakit kailangan natin ipaintindi ang mga guro? We need to discuss the indicators and the RPMS po para malaman ni guro kung ano yung dapat niyang i-prepare, ano yung dapat niyang gawin for this school year, para naman po matulungan natin siya na lahat ng ginagawa niya ay talagang makaka-contribute doon sa performance niya at the end of the school year. So what are the forms needed? First is the IPCRF. We need to know our IPCRF, whether you are proficient or highly proficient. Second is the SAT or the self-assessment tool. So meaning you need to assess yourself based on sa indicator, saan yung strengths mo, saan yung mga weaknesses. Actually, I don't treat them as weaknesses, but opportunity for me to improve. That's how I look at it. Kung saan ako mahina, dun yung opportunity for me to improve. That's why we have the self-assessment tool. Next naman is the IPCRF DP or Development Plan. Ano tong DP, sir? This DP is a development plan where we crafted actions, interventions in order for us to improve our weaknesses in the IPCRF and also to enrich our strength in the IPCRF based doon sa ating self-assessment tool. So yun po yung ginagawa natin sa DP. Don't worry, we'll have a detailed discussion on that. Second is, after you have done the activities and you have accomplished the form, you need to sign the IPCRF DP based doon sa SAT. And then you have to have signed IPCRF. Ang purpose lang po nito kung bakit tayo magpipirmahan dito sa IPCRF natin ay para malaman natin na meron na talagang agreement si rater at saka si ratee as to the things that they'll be doing for the entire school year 2020-2021. So sir, ano yung SAT? Ano yung SAT RPMS? Ano yung self-assessment test ng RPMS? So ito po yun. Meron po tayong dalawang tools. Ayan, meron po tayong dalawang taas po, Miss Bianca. Okay. So while Miss Bianca is presenting the slide for the RP. Ayan, so yun po. So nakita po natin, yan po yung sample na COT. Tatlo na lang po yung indicator na nandyan. We're going to enlarge it later ha. I-zoom natin yan kung ano yan. And also there will be a classroom observation tool or rubric kung paano natin i-arrange. So right after you're done with the DP or the development plan po, you are now starting to collect your portfolio. Forming your portfolio from day 1 up to the last day of the school year. Iko-collect po natin yung portfolio natin in one, parang ibabatch po natin siya. Ang purpose po nun ay para po masundan natin, ma-record, ma-document po natin lahat ng ginagawa natin so that it will be rated accordingly. So it starts in January down to March. Bakit may asterisk yung March? Because during the implementation po ng March, while we are gathering our data, we're going to have a mid-year assessment and that will be part of phase 2 discussion. Later po, we'll discuss the phase 2 discussion po ng mid-year assessment and that will happen in March. Ayun. So can we show the slide for the Miss Bianca, the SAT or the self-assessment tool? Ayun. So, while preparing the slide for the self-assessment tool po, we have to remember that this SAT po, ginagawa po natin ito para po para masundan natin kung ano yung strength natin, ano yung weaknesses natin, saan tayo mag-i-improve, ano yung gagawin natin para mag-improve tayo based doon sa indicators for school year 2020-2021. Ayan. So, next slide, Miss Bianca.
Sir Kaloy, yung ISAT natin, naligaw ang ating slide.
Okay, naligaw. So don't worry po, we're going to discuss this ISAT na lang. Anyway, while you will be showing or looking for the slide po, Miss Bianca, for the SAT, I'm going to discuss na or dadaanan ko na lang. Okay lang po ba?
Okay lang, sir. Baka tomorrow we can show the audience na lang yung ating prepared slides for the ISAT. Maikli lang naman po yun mga ma'am and sir, but I'm sure Sir Kaloy can give you an idea na right this moment.
Opo. Or can I share my screen? Ay, hindi pala. Wala pala akong internet sa screen ko. Ayun. So sa SAT po, the same po yung ginawa natin last year. We're going to have a ticking. Magtitik lang po tayo doon sa SAT kung saan yung indicators tayo strong and saan tayo yung indicators na we need to have an intervention or training immediately. So meron po tayo ng priority development and then level of capacity. Meron po tayong ganung level sa SAT natin and then you're going to tick. Right after ticking that accomplishing the self-assessment tool po, mag-generate po siya ng data. And out from that data po, i-identify ng ating electronic self-assessment tool kung ano yung strength mo. At ano naman yung mga indicators na kailangan tayong mag-improve. And from there po, it is now easy for us to develop a development plan kasi po meron na tayong basis, meron na tayong data na na-generate based from our self-assessment tests. And tapos, there will be a data collection dun sa SAT natin. Meron po tayong mga, don't worry, in that tool po, in the electronic tool of the SAT po natin, meron po tayong mga instruction doon, meron tayong kalakip doon ay ang mga demographic profile, the objective, and the core behavioral competency. Simply ticking lang po talaga. It is easy for all the teachers. Makikita nyo po yan tomorrow when we show it po. And also, the activities are made easy. For the teacher, ikaw lang po ay mag-open ng SAT, mag-a-answer, tapos you're done. After that, you submit it to the ICT personnel, i-collect niya yung ISAT nyo, tapos generate ng summary. After that, si ICT coordinator, isasubmit niya kay school head, kay principal. Ang trabaho ni principal ngayon ay to generate the summary result of the ISAT data. And after that, mag-a-analyze siya. Bakit niya i-analyze? Kasi si principal mag-iisip siya ng intervention that is common doon sa mga common na mga indicators na mahina or hindi gaanong develop among the teacher. Magde-develop siya ng training for the entire school para naman po ma-address natin at the school level kung ano talaga yung gusto natin. Kasi nga needs assessment, parang needs-based ang ginagawa natin ngayon. We need to train the teacher according to their needs. Hindi lang siya training na hugot sa hangin, training na basta-basta lang. Kasi feel kung training na ito na lang yung ibibigay ko. Hindi po. This time po in DepEd, we are really aligning na lahat ng training must be data-based, must be data-driven. Tapos meron talaga siyang basis for that. And after that, si school head po, magsasubmit po siya ng summary sa SDO. Ba't niya po isasubmit ito sa SDO? Kasi ito yung trabaho ng SGOD HRDS or yung mga SEPs natin sa HRD. Mag-generate siya ng data for the entire division naman. Ang entire division naman yung i-collect niya. Ang purpose nito is that as a training personnel sa ating division office, he or she will develop as well a program, a learning development program na swak or pasok doon sa mga kailangan or mga pangangailangan ni guro base doon sa kanyang self-assessment tool. After that, i-assess niya, i-analyze niya yung data na na-collect natin coming from the self-assessment tool para mabigyan natin ng akma, appropriate, accurate intervention para ang ating mga guro ay talagang ma-develop natin at ma-train natin according to their needs. So we have to remember that the ESAT for school year 2020-2021 works best with MS Office 2010 or newer. So kung yung application mo, yung MS application mo ay hindi 2010, hindi po siya mag-work kasi meron po tayong mga macros. You would ask, ay ano ba yung tool nyo sir? Parang nahirapan kami. So you mean, bibili pa kami ng bagong MS Office sir para kami ay maka-accomplish niyan? Hindi po. Kasi in DepEd, we have that, we have the DepEd email account. That DepEd email account, once it is activated po, you will be given an Microsoft Office 365 and that 365 is the updated version of Microsoft at magagamit nyo yun para mag-update tayo dito and it is free. Free po yan sa lahat ng kaguruan natin sa DepEd. As long as you're a member of DepEd, you are free. You are given a free subscription or kumbaga libre na po yung Microsoft Office 365 natin. So di po kayo mababahala doon. Next po, each teacher shall have one ESAT collection file. So each teacher meron tayong data. How we do that, we'll have a capacity building on that as well. Don't type on the field of drop-down buttons kasi meron tayong drop-down. Ang meaning po sa drop-down, i-click nyo lang, bibigyan kayo ng option at tapos mag-click na kayo, hindi na kayo magta-type. So it is made easy para sa ating mga kasamang kaguruan. Also, we have manuals, guides on the generation and analysis of summary results and the tool to support this shall be provided to the schools and school division offices very soon. Pag natapos na po natin, actually tapos na siya, pero pag natapos na natin siyang ilathala, ano ba yun sa lathala, I guess, to print or to compile, talagang maibigay natin yung step-by-step process on how to accomplish this SAT, ibibigay po natin yan, nakalakip doon sa ating link or sa ating Google link po na binibigay ngayon sa field. So those are the things that we'll be doing. Kasama na po doon sa development ng development plan or IDP. Yun po yung gagawin natin in the phase 1. So ayun. So I hope na nasundan natin yung discussion natin sa phase 1. Don't worry po, kasi this live po will not be deleted in DepEd Philippines. If you wish to watch on this or try to rewatch or parang titingnan or papanoorin natin ulit, makikita nyo ulit itong DepEd Philippines Facebook Live natin on the orientation of RPMS. Miss Bianca.
Ayun, thank you Sir Kaloy. So again, tomorrow, ipapakita po namin sa inyo yung tinutukoy ni Sir Kaloy on the ESAT. Ko-connect na namin siya sa phase 2. But for now, Sir Kaloy, we're actually at the end of our program. Ganun lang yun kadali, mga ma'am and sir. Sobrang bilis ng panahon.
So meaning yung session natin for this day, tapos na, matatapos na?
Yes, sir. Talagang hinati namin because like we keep on saying, ayaw natin masyadong binubugbog ng information ng ating mga teachers. Kaya talaga natin siya hinati into a three-part episode. Don't worry. I'm sure pati sina Teacher Ad and Teacher Lester, excited din silang mag-discuss and mag-share ng insights nila. Pero bukas talaga, matetest tayong lahat whether you're a guest or you're an audience tomorrow po sa ating phase 2. Nako, sure marami tayong mapag-uusapan, Sir Kaloy.
Ayun, so maraming salamat for that, Miss Bianca. No? So ano yung natin, activity? While I'm viewing the comment.
The mga comments. Sige, habang check po ni Sir Kaloy ang ating mga comments sa Facebook, balikan lang po natin kung ano yung mga ginawa natin today, no? Or yung mga napag-usapan natin today.
Yes,
so
Miss
first,
Bianca,
dinaanan natin ng ating legal basis. So to reiterate, ito ang ating CSC Memorandum Circular number 6 on the SPMS. And then we also have DepEd Order 2 on the RPMS. And then ang ating PPST standard. So yan ang ating mga legal basis. And also, we explained to you kung paano ba namin nilink sa BHROD and RCTQ itong ating PPST with our RPMS. And eventually, how we will link them with our other HR systems. Kanina rin po, pinesent na namin sa inyo ang patikim ng aming bagong RPMS tools for proficient and highly proficient teachers. And then tomorrow, we will go deeper dun sa ating mga indicators. I-explain namin sa inyo kung paano ba ito gagamitin, paano nyo ba ito ima-manifest sa inyong practice. Also, we explain to you kung ano ba yung milestones, so yung journey nitong ating PPST and RPMS alignment. And sa last part po, diniscuss ni Sir Kaloy ang ating phase 1. Hanggang phase 1 lang po talaga tayo mga ma'am and sir, but don't worry. Tomorrow will be phase 2 and we invite everyone to please, sana you tune in with us, you join us again kasi ito po ang pinaka-importante, ito po ang meat ng ating discussion. So don't miss phase 2 tomorrow.
Yes, Miss Bianca. And also we would like to thank all our viewers, no? Kasi hindi po bumitaw ang more than 100,000 viewers po simula nung pag-open natin ng live hanggang ngayon po. We are still 133,000 We still have 133,000 viewers. Ang dami. Kung sa YouTube ko to, mamomonetize ko na ito.
Alam yun natin lahat. Mga vloggers dyan, nako, natalo pa natin sila, sir.
Opo, so
talaga ng DepEd family.
Opo, so for those viewers po na nandito pa din until now, as you can see, gumaganon-ganon ako kasi nandito yung control ko, yung monitor ko. Please comment down below po kung ano yung takeaways natin for this phase 1. Kung meron ba tayong nakuha, meron ba tayong natutunan. Kasi nga po, bukas, pag-aaralan ulit natin yung phase 2. Ano yung mga indicators na u-observe? Ano yung gagamitin natin sa observation? Meron bang observation? Yes, meron po. Pero how we are going to do that? Tomorrow malalaman po natin yan. Kasama pa rin natin yung ating mga guest teachers. Di ba po, Miss Bianca?
Yes. Teacher Ads, Teacher Lester, kayo po, itong sa napakasimple nating programa, ano yung mga key takeaways nyo for the context ng ating RPMS and even for phase 1? Teacher Lester?
Yes. Ako, you know what, Miss Bianca, Sir Kaloy, and Teacher Ads, no? I was also learning kanina, no, when I was listening, nung binabalikan ko yung mga pinag-uusapan natin, no? Talaga namang may nadadagdag pa din sa kaalaman ko regarding RPMS-PPST. Key takeaway siguro ay when we talk about performance, it doesn't happen overnight nga. No, kagaya ngayon ang pinag-usapan pa lang natin ay phase 1. No, hindi natin minamadali. No, we're slowly doing things, we're slowly relearning things. No, kasi nga naman ito ay mga napag-usapan na rin in the past. So dahan-dahan, no? Suwabe lang, pero we're making sure that we're delivering really the key messages. Kaya I'm inviting po no, all our fellow teachers na kung meron kayong mga katanungan, no, maybe really take this opportunity to tell us what you think about the RPMS-PPST for this year and your thoughts na rin regarding this. Salamat po.
Thank you, Teacher Lester. Kayo naman po, Teacher Ads. Ano ang takeaway niyo this afternoon?
Actually, bago ko sabihin yung key takeaway ko, kanina kasi nagtanong tayo sa kanila, hindi pa natin nakuha yung answers ng iba, hindi natin nabalikan. Okay lang ba kung balikan natin yon? Kasi nag-start sila, sayang naman.
May delay talaga
Oo, kasi kinapture ko actually screenshot ko kasi sayang yung yung sinabi ni ma'am. Actually, ito tinanong natin sila tungkol sa RPMS tools. Tinanong natin kung ano masasabi nila, 'di ba? Sa bago na meron tayo ngayon. Ang sabi ay sabi ni Teacher Marlu H. Pangan, sabi niya, it's fine in a face-to-face teaching and learning process, but considering our present situation, I think not all can be achieved and observed. So medyo may agam-agam pa si ma'am, no? So bukas masasagot namin po ito, ma'am, yung inyong agam-agam dito. Pero meron ding nagsabi na, sabi niya, for me, these indicators are timely and specific, which really are suited with our new normal education. So, katulad din ng sinabi ni ma'am, ang key takeaway ko ay nakita ko yung alignment ng dalawa. Feeling ko this year, kahit pa mahirap yung situation, ang highly proficient teacher na katulad ni Sir Lester ay kayang-kaya akong turuan ng mga dapat kong gawin bilang proficient teacher dahil sa pagkaka-align ng tools ng highly proficient teachers at ng proficient teachers. So, excited ako kung ano pa ang maitutulong nila sa akin bukod sa dati na nilang naitulong pa. Yun po. At excited din ako sa mangyayari bukas. So, ini-invite po rin pa namin kayo na sundan ang episode na ito, bukas na episode 2. Thank you po.
Ayun. So, Miss Bianca, episode 2.
Ayan, thank you to Teacher Az and Teacher Lester. Ito na po talaga mga ma'am and sir. Again, we are inviting you to join us tomorrow for episode 2. We will tackle the different RPMS tools, ang ating mga COT, ang mga kailangan natin gawin for phase 2. But for now, we have to cut our episode short. Wag po kayo mag-alala. Kung hindi kayo nakapanood ng ating episode or if you were not able to start our episode, available po ito sa ating DEPED Philippines Facebook page for your viewing any time of the day. And ngayon po, sa inyong screen, makikita niyo po ang details namin sa BHROD. If you have any questions or concerns on the RPMS or any of our HR systems, you may contact us through email or you may also contact our partners sa PNU-RCTQ. Ayan po ang kanilang details. Sila ang kasama namin sa pagbuo nitong new RPMS tools for school year 2020 to 2021. And lastly, ito yung pinakamaraming tanong sa akin nung weekend, Sir Kaloy. Mine-message ako ng ating mga audience regarding dito sa ating link ng reference materials for school year 2020 and 2021. Mga ma'am and sir, if you can focus your attention sa ating screen, ito po ang link ng ating RPMS-PPST materials. Please make sure po that when you access the link, ang ginagamit niyo pong email ay ang ating DEPED email address or ang ating deped.gov.ph email address. Kasi po, kung personal email ang nagagamit niyo, talagang hindi kayo papayagan i-access. So we encourage you to use your official DEPED email address para naman official ang ating pagtatrabaho. Ayun lamang po, Sir Kaloy, Teacher Lester, Teacher Ads, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Yes
I'd like to think na successful, I'm pretty sure successful ang ating first run, especially na we broke records with our 140,000 viewers.
Yes, Miss Bianca, hindi tayo binitawan, hindi tayo tinantanan. Yun ba yung term? Hindi tayo tinantanan kasi nandito sila until now. We still have 120 viewers. So before we're going to leave you, pa-shoutout na lang po sa lahat ng mga viewers natin, kina Ma'am Marisa Pabilian, Ma'am Virgil Lopez, Ma'am Horonata Benedictos, Ma'am Nanilin Baslas, Ma'am Luz Biminda Bragas, Ma'am Jane Looper, Ma'am Marian Lindio, Ma'am Elsa Orbon at marami pang iba sa mga kaibigan ko dito sa Iligan City, especially to our SDS Sir Roy Angelo Gaso and ASDS Ma'am Shambaye Uzman. Maraming salamat for allowing me to be part of this orientation. Inallow po nila ako, so I need to say thank you din po sa kanila. And also to our friends coming from Oroquieta City, Sir Bob Napere and all other people, my friends po. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Miss Teacher Ads, baka meron po kayong pang-plug dyan.
Ay, wow, pwede.
Pwede.
Para po sa mga hindi pa nagsasubscribe, you may subscribe to the Teacher Ads channel on YouTube. You may also follow me on Facebook. Also, the name is Teacher Ads. Thank you very much po for inviting me here. See you tomorrow.
Sir Lester naman.
Yeah, actually, na-inspire ako, no, because of this guesting. Wow, guesting. Na-inspire ako maybe to share my RPMS journey also to my fellow master teachers and other teachers, no. Nasa YouTube din po ako. It's Sir Lester Cajes. Thank you.
Wow, grabe talaga mga teachers natin. Vloggers na rin sila ngayon, sir.
Yes. And also, please don't forget to follow me. May meron pa pal ako dito, no? Please don't forget to follow me or subscribe in my YouTube channel, Sir Kaloy. Yun lang po yung pangalan ko, Sir Kaloy. And also my Facebook official page, Sir Kaloy Official. Ayun po, pa-follow na lang po. And also, please don't forget to follow DepEd BHROD official Facebook page, DepEd Philippines, and all other DepEd official Facebook pages po. Sundan lang po natin yung official Facebook pages ng DepEd ng ating gobyerno kasi baka po ma-mislead tayo sa ibang pages po, yung mga Facebook page. Baka misleading po yung iba. So we invite everyone to only follow DepEd Philippines and DepEd tayo and all other official DepEd Facebook pages po. Miss Bianca.
Wala po akong maipopromote. Follow na lang po ang BHROD Facebook page at ang DepEd Philippines at ang DepEd tayo. Again, thank you everyone. We will see you tomorrow, 4 o'clock, alas 4 ng hapon on the dot to discuss phase 2. Thank you. Enjoy your dinner. Stay safe, keep safe, and we will see you tomorrow. Salamat
Yes po. And always remember po that in BHROD, we have HR with a heart.
And OD with a smile.
Ayun. So with that, good afternoon, everyone. Enjoy your dinner and God bless us all. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Okay na siya. Tama ba? Ay, wait lang.